Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.
Georgian Prime Minister Irakli Kobakhidze met with Robin Danigan, U.S. Ambassador to Georgia. A wide range of matters pertaining to the strategic partnership between the two countries and prospects of bolstering their cooperation were discussed at the meeting. It was noted that Georgia remains committed to the furthering democratic reforms, institutional empowerment, and the country's democratic development. The parties affirmed their readiness to strengthen and further boost the productive cooperation between the countries. Georgian Economy Minister Davutashvili on Friday said the government was ready to take all necessary steps to elevate its trade and investment partnership with the United States and the business community to a new level. The minister emphasized the government's primary economic strategy was to deepen economic relations with the EU and the USA. We are planning to reach out to companies in the USA and introduce them to the business opportunities available in Georgia. The US is one of the top 5 trading partners of our country, with 10% share in trade turnover, ranking it fourth. American foreign investment with a share of 9% have played a vital role in the development of Georgia's economy, he added. Davutashvili highlighted the resilience of Georgia's economy against past economic crises, maintenance of domestic macroeconomic stability, and creation of strong economic foundations for achieving long-term development goals. Natia, the acting governor of National Bank of Georgia, on Thursday said the decision to lower interest rates on loans taken by over 150,000 pensioners made by Liberty Bank in consultation with Prime Minister Irakli Kobakhidze was socially significant and reasonable. Interest reduction will apply for both overdrafts and regular loans. This will affect over 150,000 loans with an average interest rate of more than 30%. It's important to note that this change will not negatively impact the financial situation of Liberty Bank, Turneva said. She added her office would work intensively with Liberty Bank to decide the manner of reduction of interest rate and the start date for the change. In January 2024, the external merchandise trade of Georgia amounted to over $1.3 billion, 40.8% lower year-on-year. The Georgian National Statistics Service reported that the exports equaled $300 million, while the imports stood at $1 billion. The negative trade balance was $600 million in January 2024, and its share in external trade turnover constituted 49.5%. In January 2024, the share of top trading partners by exports in the total exports of Georgia amounted to 80%. The top partners were Kyrgyzstan, Russia, and Azerbaijan. In January 2024, the share of top trading partners by imports in total imports of Georgia amounted to 70%. The total partners were Turkey, Russia, and China. In January 2024, motor cars claimed the first place in the list of top export items, followed by ferroalloys and exports of wine of fresh grapes. The Georgian government plans to expand its control over the electrical equipment market. The list of building materials to be accessed by the Market Surveillance Agency is growing. Monitoring will be applied to more than 100 construction products, both imported and locally made, including blocks, bricks, thermal installations, and roofing materials. The quality and safety of building items will be monitored on a broad scale beginning in January 2025. According to the present regulations, the agency oversees up to 25 building materials. They claim that the majority of breaches are in the documentary section. After construction materials, the control over the household electronic devices will also be tightened. To date, the government does not control the safety of electrical devices. Despite numerous reliable brand products, many others may still be dangerous. Experts report instances of malfunctioning domestic appliances using fire and electrical circuit damage. To avert such a risk, a regulatory agency under the Ministry of Economy will begin overseeing this market next year. In Q4 2023, the unemployment rate in Georgia decreased by 0.7 percentage points compared to the corresponding period of the previous year and equaled 15.3%, the National Statistics Service reported. According to Geostat, in Q4 2023 compared to the corresponding period of the previous year, the number of hired employees increased by 74.3 thousand persons and reached 958,000, while the number of self-employed decreased by 6.6 thousand and equal to 413,000. In the same period, the number of unemployed decreased by 0.9 thousand and equal to 148,000. Traditionally, the unemployment rate is higher for men than for women in Q4 2023 compared to the corresponding period of the previous year. This indicator decreased for women by 0.3 percentage points, while for men by 1 percentage point and equaled 13.5 and 16.8% respectively. The labor force participation rate is higher for men than for women. In Q4 2023, the indicator for women was 44.3% and for men 65.9%. The labor force participation rate for women increased by 1.6 percentage points, while for men it increased by 1.9 percentage points compared to the corresponding period of the previous year. In Q4 2023, the employment rate for women increased by 1.5, while for men by 2.2 percentage points compared to the corresponding period of the previous year. The Finance Minister Taktakishvili reported to the Parliament within the Ministerial hour. According to him, deriving from the EU candidate status, Georgia has for the first time joined the preparations for average term program of economic reforms according to the methods developed by the EU for the candidate states and submitted the economic reform program for 2024-2026 to the European Commission within the established term. The document is an average term expenditure planning instrument for the candidate states, and it's the direction that we intend to further work in 2024, along with the complete integration of the necessary processes into the budgetary cycle calendar. According to the analysis of the last macroeconomic parameters of Georgia and EU members and candidate states, Georgia is nearly as progressed in a number of directions to the therefore states and or its leading positions according to the high economic growth, low inflation rate, reduced state debt and budget deficit, and rapid restoration of macroeconomic and fiscal parameters after the pandemic, he stated.
The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.